So, anyway, so yeah, they like people who'd been trained already in the more exoteric religions. Um, because it is in these lesser mysteries, the exoteric religions, that latent capacities of man are unfolded. You know, you start learning about the power of prayer and applied psychology, as they call it, but and with the greater mysteries, the more esoteric lodges, they unfold hidden capacities of nature. Okay, so the lesser mysteries, the exoteric religions, they deal with the subjective sphere. And the greater mysteries, the esoteric mystery religions, they deal with the objective sphere. And I'll get more into what I mean by that in a bit, but just ponder that. Anyway, the two are essential preliminary to each other. So. Um, yeah, so these guys. Okay, so here's basically what these guys think. They think, okay, it's not possible for a man to command the elemental essences of nature unless he is master of elemental aspects of his own nature. So yeah, so in other words, um, you have to have things like that you sort of learned in the lesser religions. You sort of have to, because they don't just, it's not like Satanism where I mean I guess some of these are like Satan, but it's not like the common misconception of a Satanism or whatever is that it's all just, hey, do whatever you want, man, let's have a huge fucking party and do rituals and blah blah blah, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. No, these they want people who are disciplined, people that have self-discipline, people who have a work ethic, people who basically know how to behave themselves in public, and people who can actually have enough going that they can slide into positions of power, because they want, and then because then that makes their organization more powerful, and when they realize that you've got all that stuff in order, then they start teaching you the greater mysteries, the big secrets. And yeah, it's like, I mean, Satan doesn't want some guy working for him who's going to self-destruct and be dead before he's 30. He'd much rather have a guy who stays alive his whole life, or lives a nice, long, healthy life, and can stir up a lot of shit on this planet before he actually dies. Somebody who has work ethic and charm and self-discipline. Yeah, because I mean, if you're just on a self-destruct mission, you're really of no use to anyone. So that's another reason why these guys like going after people who are already sort of, who have a religious background. So yeah, discipline. I mean, yeah, a lot of this stuff, man, is taken right from these mystery schools. So yeah, discipline must precede dominion. That's one of their philosophies, and you gotta have discipline if you want to be an occultist, a real occultist, a magician. So yeah, not only that, if your nature, if you're not somewhat if if it's not purified, it will have a make a mixed contact when it touches the unseen. You have to go through this process before you get into these rituals. You have to go through this process of purification. You have to be somewhat of a noble character, or once you start, and not only that, but you have to have very strong self-will. Because if you don't do that and you start tapping into these unseen forces on the astral plane, they'll fucking crush you. They'll destroy you. So you have to be a very strong person to delve into the occult and practice these kinds of rituals. So the operations of occultism, they're based upon the powers of will and the imagination. And both these are blind forces, invisible forces, the imagination and the will. So, unless they are controlled and directed by a motive which has relation to the universe as a whole, no ultimate synthesis is possible. So, in other words, if you're not serving the will of the universe when you perform these magic operations or whatever you want to do, most of the time it just will not manifest. You have to be aligned with the natural forces to be able to work magic. Okay, so now the personality, it's believed by these people, yeah, I mean, to be a real good practitioner, your personality must be universalized. By that, what I mean is you aim, your aim is in order that it may function as an organized part of the cosmic whole. You're here to serve the universe. You're not here to serve your own selfish desires, needs, and wants. So it is this urge towards universalization, which is the ultimate hunger of the soul. The lesser self seeks to achieve this by drawing all things into itself and in a rage of possession. The greater self seeks to achieve it by transcending the bounds of self and becoming one with the universe. Your lesser self thinks that you can find happiness through the accumulation of material, through the accumulation of money, getting a nice house, nice car, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But your higher self knows. I mean, everybody knows deep down. I mean, really, the only way to achieve happiness is to become one with the will of the universe. To become secure and knowing that you live in service to God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. So, now it's taught in these schools also that there are two unions to be achieved, and now the self may become one with the universe by means of universal sympathy. Now this is the goal. This is the goal of the occultist. Okay, the goal of the occultist is to become one with the universe by means of universal sympathy. Now what I mean by that is the self. I'll get more into that. But okay, the self may also be made one with the creator of the universe by means of absolute devotion. And this is the goal of the mystic. The occultist, having achieved his own goal, has not yet made ultimate integration. He has not yet passed from the manifested phenomenal aspect into the cosmic. And the mystic, having achieved his transcendent union, cannot hold it, but must lapse back into the phenomenal universe. I heard one time. I read somewhere one time that the difference between an occultist and a mystic is that you know, and a mystic will go run away to go sit on a mountaintop to get in touch with God or what have you, and he'll go off and live by himself in the wilderness. And an occultist lives within the world of man, lives within civilization. So, and they that's the main difference. But anyway, we'll get more to that. But so what the aim of the occultist though is they want ultimate integration. Can only be achieved by means of universal sympathy and absolute devotion, united in one nature. Um, the idealized, perfect occultist is both a mystic and an occultist. Has absolute devotion to God and a universal sympathy, if you will. Um, right now, so this is the old. Now these guys feel that yeah, this is the ultimate aim of evolution for the manifested universe as a whole. Um, uh, yeah, the aim of evolution is okay, and he who goes by the way of initiation does not anticipate evolution. Um, so it is the function of the mysteries to assist the initiate to tread that section of the path which has already been explored. But beyond lies a section that is known to no consciousness, that is in a physical form. So this section a man must tread alone with his master, and his master, his teacher, guru, what have you, mentor, and beyond lies a section where a man is alone with his God. It can't be taught. You know, you can't teach this to a disciple because it's a very, very personal thing. Yeah, let me go ahead and try and get this thing published here.